Psalm 74, listen to what it says. Oh God, why do you cast us off forever? Why does your anger smoke against the sheep of your pasture? Remember your congregation which you have purchased of old, which you have redeemed to be the tribe of your heritage. Remember Mount Zion where you have dwelt. It's an interesting beginning. The notes that I have here basically say, excuse me, God. Hello, have you forgotten who we are? Have you forgotten your promises? Have you forgotten who you're supposed to be to us? He's crying out, God, how is it that you continually forget us? Verse 3 goes on, direct your steps to the perpetual ruins. The enemy has destroyed everything in the sanctuary. Your foes have roared in the midst of your meeting place. They set up their own signs for signs. They were like those who swing axes in a forest of trees and all its carved wood. They broke down with hatchets and hammers. They set your sanctuary on fire. They profaned the dwelling place of your name, bringing it down to the ground. They said to themselves, we will utterly subdue them. They burned all the meeting places of God in the land. We do not see our signs. There is no longer any prophet, and there is none among us who knows how long. How long, O God, is the foe to scoff? Is the enemy to revile your name forever? Why do you hold back your hand, your right hand? Take it from the fold of your garment and destroy them. You look here and he's, are you forgetting something, God? God, have you forgotten your promises? Do you no longer do what you say you'll do? It's a question sometimes we have in our own mind. We in our futile way, in our time-constrained ways, oftentimes totally forget what God has said. Today, I encourage you, if you're somebody who feels like God owes you something, or that maybe God's forgotten His promises to you, I would encourage you, read Leviticus 26 or Deuteronomy chapter 28. In there, He talks about the ways that He wants to bless people and pour out His blessing on people. He talks about the way that He wants to take care of those in His covenant and how He plans to pour out magnificent blessing after magnificent blessing. But then it goes on to say, but if my people turn from me, if they revile me, then here's going to be the consequences. And He lays those things out as well. He's not withholding blessing from us. He's actually oftentimes simply pouring out what we deserve. We forget our own sin patterns. We forget where we have gone astray and then hold Him accountable to the blessings of His promise, neglecting the fact that we have rebelled. He goes on in verse 12 and says this, yet God, my King, is from of old, working salvation in the midst of the earth. You divided the sea by your might. You broke the heads of the sea monsters on the waters. You crushed the heads of the Leviathan. You gave him as food for the creatures of the wilderness. You split open the springs and brooks. You dried up every flowing stream, or ever flowing streams. Yours is the day, yours also the night. You have established the heavenly lights and the sun. You have fixed all the boundaries of the earth. You have made summer and winter. What it's saying here is, hey, God, have you forgotten something? And then suddenly it turns this corner in verses 12 through 17 where He says, hold on a second, you are God. I don't think He's necessarily getting the warm fuzzies or is feeling really good about that, but He realizes you are God. And so then we turn another corner here in verse 18. Remember this, O Lord, how the enemy scoffs and a foolish people reviles your name. Do not deliver the soul of your dove to the wild beasts. Do not forget the life of your poor forever. Have regard for the covenant, for the dark places of the land are full of the habitations of violence. Let not the downtrodden turn back in shame. Let the poor and needy praise your name. Arise, O God, defend your cause. Remember how the foolish scoff at you all the day. Do not forget the clamor of your foes, the uproar of those who rise against you, which goes up continually. What he's saying here is, God, remember us. I don't think he's saying, hey, we're righteous and we deserve your grace. I think he's just saying, God, remember us. Today, you may have come to a place where you recognize the judgment in which you are living is righteous. And it may be that you deserve the consequences that you're dealing with. And you may feel like there's no hope. I would just encourage you, turn back to God. Because the same chapter that talks about how we deserve some of the wretched consequences talks about how God loves to bless those who walk in Him. You may have made some bad decisions. You may have some regrets. Today, all of that can be turned. Will you trust Jesus? Will you trust what He's... Will you give Him your life? And watch what He does. If you want a minister to get in touch with you, text the word HOPE to 417-256-3128. Have a fantastic day. May it be the day that changes everything.